But we'll look at the Kazane video first. Because I want to refresh myself on what the frick happened. Thank you for the tier 1, Wilster. Thank you very much. For 6 months in advance, thank you very much. Thank you so very much, Wilster. Thank you. Maybe Andrew make a pee-pee? He might. He does talk about VTuber, so maybe if enough people tag him on it and he's interested in it, maybe he will do a PP for it. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, let's jump into this. So this is basically a quick TLDR before we start. VTuber Kodiak got doxed supposedly by this person, Vex Milk, the VTuber, or a member of her community. Supposedly, someone called his place of employment, made the accusation that he has been, quote, SAing women online, unquote, and this resulted in him being fired from his job. So that is the quick TLDR. Kazana's probably going to go into this a little bit deeper than I just did, which is what I want, because I want to buff myself up on the situation here before tomorrow. So let's take a look. Oh, actually, before I do, I need to move because I do not wish to block Kazana. So let me shift over here so that way I am not blocking him. There we go. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so it seems like there's been a little bit of a situation going on with some VTubers. Now, again, this has been a pretty bad one because if you don't know, obviously we covered Vex Milk before in the sense that, you know, it was a pretty, negative thing that was happening to her. Essentially, she was getting kind of harassed over her cancer and all of this kind of stuff, as well as there was some stuff going on with like Cinder fans and whatever.
And I think, with that, because Vex here has said that, you know, has cancer. I think she said she's beaten cancer 6 times or something. And I think people were it's allegedly that the allegedly part is people are disputing her having cancer. Like she said, she has beaten cancer 6 times. People are disputing this, pointing to her behavior, like she's exhibiting no physical. You know, when she would post like IRL photos of updates of what's been happening with her, and people have been saying that she, you know, supposedly she was not exhibiting physical symptomology of someone going through radiation or chemo. And like she was getting like new tattoos while undergoing treatment, and it's like the cancer treatment specifically say you're not supposed to get tattoos when you're going through cancer treatment. So again, this is all alleged. I don't know a terrible much about this. Before what happened with Kodiak, I'd never really even heard about Vex, but I did see a little bit of backstory on this in regards to what Kazan is talking about, that she supposedly beat cancer 6 times, but she supposedly in her photo posts was not showing any of the symptoms or any of the results that would normally come with someone that's being treated by cancer, and so on and so forth. So that's what he's referring. It is immaterial, at least to my understanding, to what has occurred with Kodiak. So it's just a little bit of backstory of how there have been problems with her in the past, is all that is referencing.
And after her, but we've talked about her before. We've been positive about her before, but this time I feel like this isn't so great because obviously it says here, Vex posted a fake email of Kodiak.
Yes, and yes, Vex was part of the cancel campaign against Rev and Straub's Advanced GG. Yeah, so Vex, this is the person that kind of, I guess, spearheaded the campaign against Rev and Straub to basically try and to get them to lose their sponsorship with Advanced GG.
This isn't so great because obviously it says here, Vex posted a fake email of Kodiak supposedly threatening her, which ends up getting up wrongly fired after someone reported him. So yeah, essentially a VTuber has gotten fired from his job after someone reported this to his work, right? And essentially this was the tweet that Vex put out saying, okay, and it shows an email from kodiakvt@hotmail.com and saying, hey Vex, I just want to know that you'll make a great blank victim since you like to whore yourself out. If there's one thing you deserve, it's getting blanked and having your screams of anguish out to the world to see. Again, you can kind of see what it's saying, right? I'm not going to continue reading it. It's pretty horrible. And yeah, of course.
Like, how anyone would think that this is a real email. Like, even if Kodiak has some not great opinions about whatever, how would you think that this is someone, like, especially, you know, how could you think this was a real email? Like, and to my understanding is this is what kicked off the whole thing with Vex and Kodiak, is she received a fake email. This was not from Kodiak, okay? This is not Kodiak's email. This is a fake email that sent this email to Vex. Bear that in mind.
You know, 100% she does not deserve to be having this message sent to her. But I think what has happened next in terms of figuring out who actually sent this message and whether it was Kodiak or whether it wasn't Kodiak is the kind of thing that people are annoyed about, right? And again, here is another thing they posted, and apparently she ended up deleting it, saying, I deleted the post with the email that was sent to me last night because apparently it's coming from someone who's pretending to be Kodiak. It is not actually Kodiak himself. Now, between then, though, a lot of people have been going after Kodiak and essentially, you know, obviously calling up his work and stuff, and to the point where obviously this clip has come out from...
Which, if Kazana doesn't watch this, I've seen, we may watch this clip afterwards. After Kazana's report. But look at what she said. Like, I don't want anyone to be falsely accused. I posted the email in question because I don't believe that anyone who sends that kind of a threat deserves to remain anonymous. But if it's causing harm to someone who is innocent, it's not worth it at that point. Leave Kodiak alone and worry about the one impersonating him and apparently multiple others. The email is being used to send these disgusting messages. Needs to be investigated. So, like, I'll give her some credit for pulling it down. Here's the thing. The fact that she posted it like that in the first place, that's literally putting someone on blast. Exactly. Like, why didn't you check? Like, if you receive an email like that, and if you even have a suspicion, like, if I was to receive an email like that, granted, I don't have my emails publicly available, but if I received an email like that from someone doing these threats, and it had a name in there of a supposed other VTuber, you can be damn sure I'd look at that and go, okay, I need to check this first before going forward. That's very basic investigative work of, okay, I just received a threatening email. I should probably look into this before putting it on blast online. And maybe, you know, if you're actually going to be taking it seriously, you go to the police first before you start posting that shit online, because you go to the police so you don't let the person know I'm on to you while you're starting an investigation. I don't necessarily 100% believe that she was just did it oopsie poopsie, I did a fucky wucky. I'm sorry, I just don't necessarily believe that at this point.
Putting up his work and stuff, and to the point where obviously this clip has come out from Kiosha and also
and
Kodiak
Kiosha went
as well.
fucking glow rage on this.
He's essentially talking about it here on stream of what happened. So let's just take a listen, and then of course we will.
Okay, he's gonna watch it.
10:34. So it took 30 minutes approximately. I sent DJ a message. Hey man, I just got fired from my job. Now, the way that it went down from the company that I work for, whom I will not dox, because I think that doxing is an evil fucking practice. And
yes, it is.
Right now I have a lawyer looking into it, which I don't want to disclose on the internet.
Of course not. Honestly, I think Kodiak would have been better served as just saying, I'm looking at my, like, honestly, even saying I'm having my lawyer looking at it, you honestly kind of, with something like this, you kind of just want to say, I'm looking at my options. You don't need to necessarily say a lawyer, because realistically, he should not only be talking to a lawyer, he should also be talking to the police, which he may be doing. And again, he may not be disclosing that, which if he is, good. Keep that close to your chest. Absolutely. But with something like this, you until you are ready to proceed with, and unless you're ready to proceed with a claim or with charges, you do want to kind of keep it even closer to your chest than he's disclosing now, because right now, because until he said something like that, he had the element of surprise. Until he said, I'm speaking to my lawyer, he had something of an element of surprise against whoever facilitated this. And it's granted, he's not completely losing it by saying, I'm talking to my lawyer, but there's a reason why why with people who are victims of things like this, they don't usually come out right away and say, yes, I'm talking to my lawyer, is because they don't want the offender in question to know that they're being looked at. They don't want them to know, hey, we should try to start hiding shit while the lawyer or the police do their thing. But there have been plenty of people that do say, I'm talking to my lawyer. It's probably not going to harm his case in any way, because all this is, even if shit gets deleted off Twitter, it's still in Twitter's data files that can be subpoenaed. They've got to retain all of their, like, even deleted posts. It's just like if you delete a VOD or something on Twitch, all of that has to be retained by the platform for, I believe, a minimum of 10 years. So it does have to be retained on the back end. And if a lawyer subpoenas it, then they can still get that information from the platform on the back end. So it's even deleting shit is not deleting stuff, protecting your post, which, by the way, Vex did protect her account. It's not going to stop anything. Realistically, it's still going to happen.
They basically came up to my desk, a guy from HR plus a security officer from the front desk of the building came up to my desk.
Hosting his place of work. I'm of two minds on that one. And I've, I'm kind of in agreement with Kirsche on this one, is because the way he's putting it, and he'll go forward to this, is he was not told, he was not talked with. They went from receiving complaint to firing him and did not talk to him in between. And in that respect, yeah, you kind of do want to know what what company this is that he was working for, that basically will just receive a complaint, do zero investigation, and not look into it in any way, shape, or form, and immediately jump to firing him. You do kind of want to know what company this is, but at the same time, I understand why he's not doing it, and he's probably not doing it to better help his case. A gut feeling, yeah, you want to know who the company is, so basically you can say, okay, I know who I'm not going to do business with because they treat your employees like shit by firing them for accusations with no evidence, clearly a woke company. But he looks better if he brings a civil case to court. It looks better on him that he has retained what amounts to integrity of not exposing the company for what they did. And so it makes him look better as a sympathetic victim by not basically going rage mode, by not going scorched earth. It shows that it's basically displaying to the court that he has integrity. His attacker did not. So it only makes him look better in the eyes of the court. Because remember, in a civil process, in a civil case, it's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Just remember that. Filing a civil suit against someone, there is no need for proof beyond a reasonable doubt. To put it bluntly, as civil cases, it is more likely than not that this happened as the way the plaintiff claims it to be. And so by him not exposing his company, by him not bad-mouthing his company, she looks better in the eyes of the judge, which means the judge will basically will have a more favorable view of him and is more likely to rule in his favor because he is displaying integrity like this. So it's so in that respect, it's kind of calculated. It is kind of calculated. If he's in Utah, I don't know where he is. I have no idea where he's located. I don't need to know where he's located. It's immaterial. But it's again, it will only benefit him in the long run in court if he shows that he is a better person than the person who lied about him to his company. And it's a smart play in that regard, but I do understand Kirche's point of view where she said, you go scorched earth and basically blast the company from here to kingdom come, saying that they fired me without just cause, they didn't even come talk to me. Like, I get that opinion, but if you're thinking tactically, he's playing it right.
Security officer from the front desk of the building came up to my desk, and he told me, you need to pack your things. Apparently, we are firing you this morning. My first question to the guy that came up to me was like, what did I just get fired for? And basically what he told me was, we got an anonymous complaint that you have been essaying women on the internet. And this company cannot tolerate that from its employees.
An anonymous complaint that he's been essaying women on the internet. No proof. And the company axed him. So basically this is why I understand the strong desire to basically out the company that he was working for. Because that means that anybody that doesn't like you can call your company, say this and lie and say this person is doing X, Y, and Z, offer no proof, and you can almost be guaranteed that person's going to get fired. This is why I understand Kirche's feeling of absolutely expose the company. I get it. But again, I also get why he's keeping close to his chest.
They stated you by first and last name, which is how we knew it was you. I didn't want to cause a fuss. They gave me one little cardboard box. Took me about 2 minutes to put all my stuff in that box. And I calmly walked out the door.
Yeah. It's
so
horrible.
Yeah, that's essentially it, right? He ended up getting fired from his job, essentially for this email that wasn't him. So again, pretty insane. And you can see here that this was obviously a fan of Vex or whatever, as you can see here by this tweet thing, saying, I'm pretty sure I found his job and stuff. Give me a sign and I'll handle it, Vex. Now, again, I don't know if they've heard that sign or not. I don't know if Vex gave.
That's the question. Did Vex tell this person hit him? Or did Vex say, give me the info and I'll do it? Who fucking knows? This is not good. At all. It's just, this is just fucking horrible.
Them assigned to do that, or if they just ended up doing it anyways, I'm not sure. But obviously there's a lot of people that have been kind of, saying that. But yeah, essentially it was a fan of hers that found his job, said that he was the one that did this, when in actual fact, it was just a troll.
Oh, it's
it
more
was
than
just
defamation.
Pretending to be him.
This would be more than defamation. It's defamation and I think this would also qualify as torturous influence. So there are probably a number of civil complaints that Kodiak can bring against Vex and maybe against this other person. Absolutely. And, and and chances are that the lawyer might be able to get records from the company, get a phone number from whom he called, liable to, yeah, like there's a number of civil charges that Kodiak could bring against Vex, this other person saying that they can basically fire away, and the company itself. Woke up messaging you. Wait, DJQ, he messaged you? They called his company multiple times. Okay, DJ, you got info. Okay. DJ, are you in my Discord? DJQ, are you in my Discord by chance? You're close. Atanashi, you're not. Okay, Atanashi, can you talk to DJQ and try and get some more information from me, please? Okay, DJ, I want information. DJ, can you send a whisper to Atanashi? He's my head mod.
She's just so.
Atanashi, get me what you can, okay? Please, thank you.
That did this when in actual fact it was just a troll. It was just someone pretending to be him and making him look bad, right? Which of course I think is is not okay, right? Of course, because that's his job now gone, right? And I think it is pretty ridiculous that this has actually happened in the first place. And yeah, I mean, what a lot of people have been going after, Vex for as well is the fact that, people saying that he tried to reach out to her and say that, hey, it's not me, that wasn't me who sent the email, and, ended up banning him from the server. They clearly had no plans to fix the mistake until more people called you out. This is classic Vex. You attack people, get exposed, try to double down, and mass block to cover your tracks. Then when the heat gets too much, you're exposed to the point of no return. You delete and gaslight. I also never accused anyone, myself, of anything, but you did. And again, it's you trying to gaslight and spin a story. And obviously,
like, again, it's like this whole thing. I never accused anyone myself of anything, except Vex is the one that put him on blast. Vex is the one that basically took the email that was not his, posted it with his fucking name on it, and basically just put him completely on blast, supposedly saying all sorts of unhinged psychopathic shit. That was on Vex. Vex did that. She didn't have to. She could have actually taken that email, reached out to Kodiak and said,
going in the shitter.
She could have gotten an email, looked at, went, what the fuck? Reached out to Kodiak and said, what the fuck is going on here? And Kodiak could have then told her, that's not me. I don't know who the hell that was, but that's not me. That's not my email address. I didn't send. Like, this could have all been handled behind the scenes and be understood that this was not Kodiak doing this, but instead, she immediately puts him on fucking blast. Immediately. Because, I wonder why. Like, it sounds like attention seeking. It sounds like virtue signaling. Like, oh, look, I'm getting attacked. And by doing that, she's destroyed someone's life. And by the way, what do you want to bet? Like, what are the chances that she doesn't care about this? Because she's gone into protected mode. I don't know how long she's gone in protected mode like this, but but probably not long after this whole thing blew up, she went right to protected mode, so nobody can see her Twitter. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And it could have been taken care of so easily. Like, that's the part that's infuriating, is with the most basic level of communication, this could have been dealt with. She didn't like him, we should be willing to overlook common sense striking him. Well, that's probably it. That would not surprise me. If she didn't like him already, she probably saw this as, oh yeah, I can stick it to him. And you know what? I do wonder. Did she suspect it wasn't him in the first place? But because she doesn't like him, she's like, oh, but it's got his name in there. I can basically make him look horrible, and I can make me look like a victim because, professional victimhood. And so she posted it. Maybe she even suspected it wasn't him in the first place, but maybe she saw this as a way to supposedly get an own on Kodiak. And then the backlash came so hot, so fast, she went, oh, I fucked up. And that's when she took it down and did this bullshit mea culpa.
Story. And obviously, yeah, this was the original post at OK. And that is very much a kind of, you know, targeted thing towards Kodiak, right? That is a kind of allegation that you're bringing. You're saying that, you know, by posting this email, you're implying that Kodiak was the one that wrote this, and it's the, you know, the email that is essentially got him fired from his job, which obviously wasn't him, right? And he tried to explain that, apparently. He tried to contact Vex, you know, through Discord or whatever, but ended up getting banned. And of course, you know, wasn't able.
Yeah, so Kodiak tried to reach out to her and say, this ain't me, and she banned him from the I think he tried to reach out to her on our Discord, and they instantly banned him. So, to me, that says that she may have suspected that it wasn't him in the first place, and she just wanted to use this as a means for an own, and wasn't expecting to get the backlash that she did. That's what this says to me. The fact that he actually tried to reach out to her and say, hey, this ain't me. She bans him from the Discord for doing that. And only after basically Twitter jumped all over and said, you bitch, you just got this man fired from his job. That's when she took it down and went protected and went, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. So, yeah, it feels like, I don't know if it's planned. I'm not prepared to say that it sounds like it's planned. Is it possible that maybe this is a situation where it was taking advantage of the circumstances? And then just kind of like things just fell into place in a way for her, like, oh, I can use this. And then maybe it got way out of control in a way that she had not anticipated. That's also possible. I'm not prepared yet to say that this is planned. Not yet, anyway. Not yet.
To actually reach out to her and say, hey, this wasn't me, this was someone else. And yeah, I think it is pretty crazy, right? Now, again, you know, let's just continue going through the response that she had here saying, you know, apparently it was someone pretending to be him. I don't want to be falsely accused. I posted the email.
She 100% sounds like she's sorry, backfired. Oh, you're absolutely correct there. She absolutely is sorry that it backfired on her. But again, I don't think that this was planned out from the start. Again, I think she did suspect that it wasn't actually him, but she thought, oh, I can use this to get an own on him and pretend to be a victim and just make myself look better for being a victim, and was not expecting the backlash, and it did indeed backfire. So yeah, it'd be negligent stupidity. Fuck, words are hard. Negligent stupidity. At best, it's negligent stupidity. Could it be at worst it was fully planned? Yes, it could. But I don't know. I don't have that level of information, so I'm not prepared to say she planned all of this. I think she took she capitalized on the circumstances, thinking it would look good for her, and it backfired spectacularly, and so she started backpedaling and half eating shit as fast as she could.
Question, because I don't believe that anyone who sends that kind of threat deserves to remain anonymous, but if it's causing harm to someone that is innocent, it's not worth it at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's not him, you know? Sure, like, if you want to, like, expose it because you don't want them to remain anonymous for sending you an email, sure, but...
I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't believe that anyone that sends that kind of threat deserves to remain anonymous. Yeah. This is trying to make an excuse for your shit behavior. That's what this is. This right here, I don't believe that anybody who sends that kind of threat deserves to remain anonymous. Agree, but she's using this she's saying this to basically excuse her behavior. That's why she's saying. Yeah, if she had verified first and verified the authenticity of the sender, sure, okay, I could maybe buy that. But she didn't even do the bare minimum of verify the authenticity. And so this is bullshit. This is her just trying to say, I was just a poor helpless victim. You can't blame me. People that send something like this absolutely should not be anonymous. So you can't blame me. I'm the victim here. She's trying to victim virtue signal here, and nobody's fucking buying it. Absolutely no one's buying this shit.
But if it's causing harm to someone who's innocent, it's not worth it. But yeah, it's not worth it because it's not him, right? Like, of course it's not worth it because, you know, it's not him that is sending you the email. So, yeah, she said, leave Kodiak alone and worry about the one impersonating him and apparently multiple others. The email being used to send these disgusting messages needs to be investigated.
Why didn't you do that, Vex? Why didn't you go to the police with the email and say, I got sent this very threatening email. I'd like to file a report, please. See, that is what a normal person who's not trying to pretend to be a victim would do, is they receive an email like that, and if they're legitimately like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? They take that email along with the IP information to the police and say, I've received a threatening email. I'd like to file a report, please. But she didn't do that. She's just crying on Twitter saying, this needs to be investigated. Yeah, and you need to initiate that. Who the fuck, like, what the fuck does she expect Twitter to do about investigating? Vex is supposedly here the victim. It is on her to take that information to the police to have the investigation conducted. And then with their resources, they can subpoena the IP, or they can subpoena Hotmail because it came from Hotmail. They can get the IP information, they can get the user information, and then they can look at pursuing criminal complaints against that. But she would need to initiate that, not cry on the internet and say, won't someone please take care of this investigation for me? I'm not going to do it, but someone else, would you please investigate it for me? So again, this only lends credence to the fact that she knew exactly what was going on from the very beginning, or at least she strongly suspected of it, and she used it to her own advantage to make her look better and dunk on Kodiak, and then she may not have realized where it was going to actually go. And when it actually went to the point of, oh, I actually got this guy fired in real life, offline, and now there's a really good fucking case to bring against me, I better start, like, doing mea culpas and backpedaling and hiding.
And of course, yeah, I think the person who ever sent this, of course, you know, is 100% in the wrong as well. But I think obviously bringing this to public and not actually confirming with Kodiak, hey, did you send this to me? Or at least, you know, allowing him to speak to you and explain, you know, what is going on. I feel like that is the kind of...
Okay. 1 day to report to the authorities. Beyond that, nobody should believe you. No. Sorry, I disagree with that. I firmly disagree with that. Like, you have 1 day to report the authorities. There are plenty of reasons why people do not immediately report to the authorities. Now, granted, your quoting is in reference to a sexual assault. That's where Phoenix was talking about that. About you have 1 day to report to the authorities. Beyond that, it was talking about a woman who came forward about what's his name? The senator that's stepping down. God, I'm blanking on his name. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Whatever the fuck his name is. The guy who's stepping down. Swalwell. Yes, thank you. Eric Swalwell. Thank you. Fuck, I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, that was in reference to the woman coming forward saying that she got sexually assaulted by Eric Swalwell, and she came forward like 10 years later. And Phoenix was saying, like, you have 1 day to report to the authorities. Beyond that, nobody should believe you. I don't agree with that. There are multiple circumstances that might prevent you from reporting to the police. And particularly with sexual assaults, it's very easy. It's very easy to say something like, oh, if you don't report a sexual assault immediately, then, you know, nobody should believe you after that, unless you've been a victim of sexual assault. You know, men, women, it doesn't matter. You know, if you are a victim of sexual assault, there is a psychological trauma there that you nor I could even really fathom when it comes to that. And the reason why sexual assault victims do not come forward immediately, do not go to the police immediately very often, is, excuse me, there is a tremendous amount of shame. Like, logically, yes. Logically, we know that if you're the victim of a sexual assault, you should immediately contact the police and get a case going and, facilitate evidence collection. Logically speaking, yes. You know that? I know that. From a logical perspective, sure. As the victim of an assault, there is a level of psychological trauma that occurs there that unless you yourself are a victim of it, can't understand. And I understand why assault victims like that don't necessarily go right away, because they're experiencing shame, they're experiencing horror about what was done to them, and they're beside themselves. They're not thinking properly. They're not thinking I should go to the police. They're just thinking about this horrible thing that was done to them. Like, I understand that. And it's why for a sexual assault victim that's like doesn't go to the police immediately and goes to the police later after they've been able to get themselves together, basically, to where mentally they can handle it. It's waiting 10 years. It's, you know what? It's not unheard of. It's not. It sounds crazy. And this is not you should believe any woman that comes forward 10 years later and says I was assaulted. Not saying that. It's basically, it's my feeling on it is the same as always with this. It's not believe all women. My thought process for things like this is don't necessarily believe out of pocket, but take it seriously and investigate. That's how I feel. So like with these assaults that come out days, months, years after the occurrence, don't believe them out of hand. Don't believe them straight out of the gate, but take the complaint seriously and investigate. That should be how everybody feels. Yeah, like not even trust but verify. Not even that. Take it seriously, but investigate for fact. And it's honestly, I hate the believe all women thing because it detracts away from that basic sense of logic. Believe all women is basically saying, believe anything a woman tells you and ignore potential facts or inconsistencies or anything like that. If it had always been like, take it seriously and investigate it, don't just like blow it off like, oh, you're full of shit. Take it seriously, but do an investigation and get your facts and get your evidence in a row. And people don't do that. That concept has gone by the wayside. Because some women, yes, will lie about it. Some women will will say, I was assaulted 5 years ago by this person, and they're lying because something may have occurred recently that caused them to be pissed off at that man, and so she's going to make a lie about it. Absolutely, that can happen. And that's why I say, take it seriously, but investigate it. It's dirt fucking simple, and it's honestly disheartening that more people don't view circumstances in this, with this mentality. Zacchaeus by soccer went on getting public to ostracized, thinking it was a pedo despite me having evidence. I don't mind. This guy was later doxxed by another content creator at the urge to call up his employer and get him fired because I couldn't afford justice. Well, I mean, that's a whole other situation entirely. And unfortunately, you were a victim of basically the believe all thing instead of take seriously but investigate. That's why take seriously but investigate needs to replace believe all women. We need to make that happen. Replace believe all women with take it seriously but investigate.
to speak to you and explain, what is going on. I feel like that is the kind of massive misplay here, because you've now cost him his job, right? And by making that original post, you've cost him his job, which obviously is horrible, right? And loads of people are not happy about this. They're saying you quite literally got him fired because some lunatic from your audience doxed him. This is your fault, you absolute scumfuck. But of course, you would just delete everything and avoid accountability for this. The post was public. It was not limited to anyone within my community. I have never pushed my community to hurt others. I push for the opposite. However, I cannot control how everyone chooses to react. Yeah, but like you can control like not.
Except you guided it. Okay? I cannot control how everyone chooses to react. Except if you literally throw chum in the fucking water. Because that's what that post was. That post was literally just taking a ton of chum and dumping it in the water to bring on the sharks. So I cannot control how everyone chooses to react. I'm sorry, I'm calling fucking bullshit. You facilitated this happening in the first place. Your actions directly caused this. And you probably knew that your actions might cause this, and you did it fucking anyway. So in this respect, you can control how people would choose to react by not posting that in the first fucking place. So, honey?
So that was a fucking lie.
Releasing the email, right? Saying the post was public. I don't know if this is again, you put it into the public though. I don't think this email was public before. Obviously Vex was the one that posted this. Maybe it came from someone else. I'm not sure, but again, I think further kind of promoting it to your fan base, and then obviously someone directly responding to your post. I mean, you have just kind of given that to your audience for them to go and take that and do the stuff that they did to him, which of course is terrible, right? So again, you got to take some accountability here and saying like, hey, yeah, no, that was my fault for posting that. I shouldn't have. And of course now my audience have gone crazy and, done all this horrible stuff. But again, it just seems like you're saying, oh, it's public anyways. It just doesn't really, I don't know, right? Now, of course, there's been some more, comments on it. For example, like Kirsha saying, you actually...
Wait! Yeah, he tried to reach out to you to tell you it's not him, and you banned him from your server. Clear you had no plans to fix the mistake until more people called you out. There it is. Again, leading more credence to the possibility that she 100% was trying to use this for her own personal benefit, and is just surprised at the backlash that came from it, and just started backpedaling as fast as she could.
Of course, there's been some more, comments on it. For example, like Kirsha saying, are you actually kidding me? Vex Milk, you are beyond a disgusting individual, and I hope you get some psychiatric help you need. You don't make up some fake-ass spoofed email to defame someone. Get pity points for it online, and then go after their job. I know you probably felt power trip after getting Rev and Strawberry cut from Advanced GG, and are chasing the high to harm more people, but this is so insanely screwed up, I don't know where to begin. This is apparently the kind of person Advanced GG wants to partner with over creators who actually made them money and didn't actively try to get other creators dropped from their sponsors or their RL jobs. Screw everyone who supports this kind of stuff, and I hope lawsuits get rightfully served to Vex, to the other person coordinating, and to his company for wrongful termination. Which, I think there's a lot of different factors at play here. I think obviously the person who sent the original email is in the wrong, because of course I don't feel like Vex, deserves that kind of email, especially from the start of things and all of this kind of stuff. And then of course I think Vex is in the wrong for publicly posting it without kind of clarifying and verifying that this was actually sent from Kodiak or not, which it wasn't. And then obviously she's also
and by the way, the thinking about it, there is a possibility that this could have been coordinated. That someone like she had someone make a fake email to send her that email so she could post it online, and then basically contact his job. I'm not saying that's happened. I've got no evidence to support that, so this is speculating. But what you guys were saying there about how it was being planned in that respect, I could see it. I can see it. Again, no evidence to substantiate it, so this is mere speculation and not fact by any stretch of the imagination. I could see it. It's honestly so easy. It honestly would be so easy to fucking do. To basically create an email, have Kodiak's real name in the in the email, send it to Vex with all this disgusting shit, and then her basically slap it online, and then if somebody does have his information to his job, then reach out to the job and start making the complaints, and then backpedaling when the shit hits the fan on him. I could see it. It honestly would not be hard to do at all. It would actually be dirt fucking easy to do.
In the wrong for ignoring him and not being able to hear out exactly what he has to say, and to say that this isn't him, right? And then also the job as well, the job that he works at, wherever it is. Yeah, I feel like they should have done a little bit more research into it and heard him out before actually deciding to fire him, which of course I think they should have done an actual investigation into what was going on and realized that, oh, this stuff is fake, this wasn't him. But of course these claims, I'm sure maybe the audience member, the reply person here, maybe juiced up the claims a lot more, so it sounded much more serious, right? It said, lol, you won't be able to run forever, man. People saying, I'm sorry for being silent, but Vex Milk is doing defamation right now publicly because of the impersonation issue Kodiak was having while he is away from his devices since 2:16 a.m. For my time. Vex received her email at 9:10 for me in my time converted zone. That is 7+ hours apart, and Kodiak is already away from his devices he uses for streaming related stuff. He doesn't use Hotmail as well, and this was also branded as an impersonation account in the Discord server as well. I'm sorry, but I'm done. Vex, go screw yourself. And
and there it is. He doesn't even use Hotmail. And so when it came out to so this is leading, so that in and of itself lends more credence to that this might have been a setup. And like between Vex and someone else, hell, maybe Vex did it to herself. For we know, yeah, his email is publicly posted, and I guess he doesn't use Hotmail. It's who knows, but it's just. Yeah, this is. It's just more and more evidence that Kodiak is going to be able to use in his lawsuit and potentially criminal charges. Again, I do hope that he's talking to the police and facilitating criminal charges.
The Discord server as well. I'm sorry, but I'm done. Vex, go screw yourself. And as I said before, we've 100%. Supported Vex before with a lot of the kind of hate and harassment that she's been getting in terms of a lot of the like the whole Cinder stuff that went on. We didn't really so much, obviously, we didn't so much cover her part in the advanced GG thing, but that was terrible. And now there's this. It's just like people were starting to go like, okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous now, right? And I think it is. People saying, in case someone tells you that he can use his phone, said yes. Also, it got so bad with censoring people's stuff on Discord to prevent impersonations of them as well, which I think is crazy. And I said, oh, and I'm not done. Kodiak is currently on Kentucky. That's the location for the email. The email is not in Kentucky. So obviously.
There you go. So he's not in Utah. He's in Kentucky. Okay, I don't know if Kentucky is an at-will employment state, but he's not in Utah. Yeah.
They kind of tracked the email. It's not based in Kentucky. It's based somewhere else. Also, the VPN part too is stupid because, oh, he used VPN. Again, they're trying to essentially, debunk a lot of stuff that's going on. And, if you're saying, I appreciate watching my Six Sharky. The sad thing is I was dealing with a family matter and did not have the time to get in front of this. Thank you for the support. So yeah, it seems like he had a lot of stuff going on at the same time as well that didn't allow him to kind of, address a lot of the stuff that was going on, right? But yeah.
Okay, now, with Hotmail being converted to Outlook, yes, a Hotmail is now Outlook, but plenty of Hotmail users still retained their Hotmail email address. They did not convert them to Outlook. So there are probably still, I would wager, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Hotmail email accounts that are still Hotmail. You had the option to convert it to Outlook or retain it at Hotmail. And plenty of people kept it as Hotmail. And by the way, you can still create a Hotmail email address to this day. When you create a new email account through Microsoft, you still have the option to create a Hotmail. Excuse me. You still have the option to create either a Hotmail email account or an Outlook email account. It is still available to create brand new today. So that's a for people saying like, well, who still uses Hotmail? Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people still use Hotmail to this day, and they're creating new ones all the damn time.
Yeah, it is starting to get pretty crazy, right? And
he
so many
came
more,
from Kentucky.
speaking out
Okay,
about
he
it,
came
saying,
from
so a screamer
Kentucky.
buddy
Gotcha.
of mine, Kodiak
Okay.
BT, got doxed and fired from his job with a made-up reason. Who would do such an awful thing? Vex, aka Vex Milk, the beloved blank, who thinks that she cannot be criticized because she's a cancer survivor. But Monkey does not care. You are an absolute awful human being. And to Kodiak, I hope you'll get a new place, and I wish you all the best going forwards from here. So, yeah, I mean, it is pretty crazy. And I do think that, you know, a lot of this behavior is very concerning in terms of, you know, a lot of the fan behavior, as well as Vex trying to avoid accountability for this. Again, it's not good whatsoever. And yeah, I hope that things get better for Kodiak, and I hope that things get just better overall, right? But yeah, I mean, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code CASA, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.
Yeah. So that's basically where we're at with the Kodiak story. And we may or may not be discussing this tomorrow. We will see. It's uncertain. But yeah, this is just, it's fucked up all the way around. Honestly, it's horrible. I do hope that Kodiak has, you know, he said he's got an attorney, which is good. I do hope that he has also contacted law enforcement, and I hope that he's able to get some serious headway in regards to in regards to what is happening. And I hope he's able to get proper justice for what happened. I really do.